Hello and welcome to Magoosh's Vocab Wednesdays, and my name is Chris, and today our theme is more commonly confused words. Now the reason why it's more is because we've had many of these commonly confused pairs or trios or words in general as part of Vocab Wednesday. It's so just to honor that tradition, I'm going to have more, and it shows you really how confusing English is as a language. Let's take our first specimen here. We have arrogate and abrogate. Very similar words. Notice the only difference is the B there in the very beginning versus the R. To arrogate is to take something, usually a right or a privilege, something that isn't yours. To say, I am going to assume that I am the leader here. I am arrogating that privilege of leadership. Abrogate, on the other hand, means to repeal or abolish, usually a law or a bill. And it's used in those formal contexts. So you wouldn't say, oh, I lost my driver's license and it's been abrogated by the DMV. Again, the context is not formal enough. So those are our two first commonly confused pairs, and those are both common GRE words. Here we have two common GRE words, and perhaps one that isn't necessarily so much as a GRE word, but can make things confusing. What do I mean? Well, fastidious. Fastidious means very nitpicky, very tidy, and you're paying attention to detail. Now, I've had this word on Vocab Wednesdays at some distant point in the past, can't remember why, but again, or when. But it is a very important word, and it's one of those words that kind of sounds like facetious. Now, it's not as close as abrogate and arrogate, but in our brains, when we're studying vocab, we tend to mix up words like fastidious and facetious. The latter, facetious, means comical, funny, joking around, so everyone knows that you're joking around, you know that you're joking around, that sort of joking around this. As for the bottom word, it looks an awful lot like facetious, or at least it should relate to facetious, right? Because facet and facet, but totally different word roots. Facet, in this case, means an aspect of something. So if somebody, for instance, is multifaceted, that means they have many sides or many faces, many aspects to them. Nothing to do with facetious or fastidious. Next, we have our little trio of confused words, and we are going vertical, now we're going horizontal. Don't want to make things more confusing. Inter means to bury. Interesting word. In, to put in. T-E-R, like terrain, terra, earth, put in the earth. Inure, again, not that similar, but they're both short words beginning with I-N. Inure doesn't mean to dig and put into the ground, but inure means to become accustomed to something, usually something that is unpleasant. So he's become inured to all the drilling outside his home ever since the new apartment building was being constructed. And finally, not to be forgotten, is immure, as in, I've become immured or confined within my board. Immure means to be confined against one's will, usually in a place like a tomb or a room. You can imagine shopping these days in one of those mega stores. You feel you are immured in the shelves, lost, as it were, amongst items. So again, inure is different from immure, which are both different from inter. And finally, we have another trio of confusing words. Again, they look different, but testing when you see them, your brain likely frees up and think, uh-oh, was impeccable the same as impecunious or impetuous, etc.? What does the first mean? If something is impeccable, it is perfect, 100%. Nothing is wrong with it. If something is impecunious, it describes a person who has no money, a person who is broke and destitute. And finally, impetuous describes someone who is rash, who does not think before they leap. Again, that final word is impetuous, as I cover my face here. And this final trio, make sure, put away, you can remember those words, and all those words, in fact, I show you today, so that you can clearly keep them separate in your head come test day. In the meantime, check us out at gre.magoosh.com, and I'll see you next week.